Okay. Well, again, how to understand the Cancer Man. So we're going to jump right in and we're going to continue with part two. Now, I had mentioned briefly in part one that the Cancer Man is interested in observing his environment. He will go through every aspect of his neighborhood and he will know every monument, every historic building, every library, community centers. He will know where everything that's functional that can govern a society or a community will be. The councilman's office or the local alderman, where the hospitals and clinics are, as well as where the barber shops are and where the pool tables are at and the bars and all that kind of stuff. He is constantly interested in knowing his environment. He's constantly interested in trying to figure out if there is a change in patterns, in cycles, in behaviors. Not just within the community and neighborhoods that he happens to stroll in, but also in the attitudes of people, even animals, and even the temperament of nature. Right? Understand that he's pulling from the opposite polarity, Capricorn. Also understand that he's the type of guy that will visit old neighborhoods and visit old girlfriends. It's not done because he's lonely. It's not done because he's lonely or sentimental or even nostalgic. And it could even appear that way from the outside observer, but it's not at all that at all. Although it may very well appear that way. I'm not gonna lie to you. However, quite the contrary. Quite the contrary. Okay? He's interested in finding out if the rhythm, the flow, or even the current or vibration of a particular place or location, or even of people, is also constant or is it changing. The Cancer Man is always concerned about things changing. But then again, can you blame him? He's ruled by the moon. And what did I say in the first video? It's 4 major phases, 8 subphases, and 28 tinctures, making it all together 48 phases. That's 48 attitudes, 48 mood swings. He is never a consistent person emotionally for a very long period of time. You may walk in and bring him a glass of shot of bourbon with some lime, like I'm doing. It's delicious too. It loosened the chest a little bit. But you see, she can bring him, here, honey, a glass of bourbon. And he'll look at her and give her a look up and down, like, bitch, who you is coming up in my face like that? Give me my space, But he had asked for that shot of bourbon a while ago. But she just got around to giving it to him. But by then, he went already through a different mood swing. So then she's caught off guard, and now she might need to go back out there and drink the bourbon herself. Yeah, Cancer is like that. It's like that. They can be moody, and it can be so unsettling too. So unsettling. But understand what's going on. Understand what's going on. It's not personal, and it's not about you. It's about the fact that just like the moon in the heavens go through its phases, so does he. He can't help it. It's who he is. Just like the moon is what it is, so the Cancer man is who he is. And if you do not like who he is, then you cannot deal with him. Remember, this is a cardinal sign, cardinal water. He can survive without you. So, slow your roll with this man. If you don't like his ways, if his ways turn you off, then you must walk away. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He wants to know. He's seeking absolute mastery of his environment by feeling out its vibration. No, with Cancer, it's all about vibrations, sense impressions. That is what's important to understand about Cancer. The Cancer man is very private and very family oriented. Okay? He doesn't like strangers and doesn't trust them either. That's why when you come across a Cancer man and you're like, yo, I just got a bad vibe from this dude. No, he didn't a bad vibe. He don't know you. So if he don't know you, he's not going to engage you. Oh, yes. So he may have best friends, though, in his own circles that he grew up with since grade school and still will not tell them his secrets, his most inner secrets and intimate feelings. Yeah. See, he will never pour out his feelings to you, and it will be almost impossible for him to open up to you. That's not something that the Cancer man is going to do right away. No, not at all. He is most and foremost a family man, though. He really is. This is one type. He has a love of family and prides himself on being a protector. Yeah. He is quite clannish. So if you can put up with his cantankerous nature and his mood swings, you probably will find a good friend in Mr. Cancer. But you have to really get to know him, because if you don't know him, his actions, his behaviors will confuse you. And then that may make you feel a certain way about him. So understand that it is extremely important that you know what you're signing up for. This man is complex, and he requires a little more than just a casual observation. Okay? You have to do that. But don't get mad though if he acts differently around you when in other company. That's the other thing. The Cancer man will be a different person in different environments. Because like Mr. Pisces and Miss Pisces, these people pick up emotions. They can pick up emotions in a room. A Cancer can walk into a room that could be totally empty, right? And he will sense, or she will sense, who was in that room, how long, what said, what were they doing? Because their emotional residue will still linger. And Cancer and Scorpio and Pisces, the water signs, they can pick up those energies, those vibrations. So understand that the Cancer man is extremely intuitive and psychic, even though he won't admit it. Oh yeah. Okay. Again, Um, what can I say? He's clannish, the mood swings, you know. But like I said, he's different people around different company, no, and he's most likely playing an act, and you can become expandable in that act in the process. Okay, like you gotta be careful because the cancer man can be dangerous. He could use you to strike somebody else and make you the fall guy. And he could do this intentionally or unintentionally. Okay? He what can I say there? What I have it? He can be a bit he can be a bitch. Okay? That's what I have here. He can be a bitch and inclined to be difficult. Yeah, that's a cancer man. You know? But one thing about him that I gotta say is that he is sensitive and loyal, but also fickle and superficial, but only if he stands to gain from it. So that means that he's not going to be superficial or fickle like Mr. Gemini or Miss Gemini. No, there's always going to be a hidden motivation for the things that he do and the steps that he takes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So he's actually pretty methodical. But again, he can be fickle and superficial. But he's not gonna do that just in its own sake. It has to lead to an end result. So that also, his tactics are part of the game. The end result is really what he's looking for, and that all other things expandable or even necessary to get at the goal. Pulling from the opposite polarity of Capricorn, cardinal Earth, and making sure that you got your resources, that you got the politicians in your pocket, and you got all the key players in your influence, and somehow or another you have a way to get them to bend to your will. That's a Capricorn Cancer polarity. So there's power here. Remember, Capricorn is the devil. And there has been more wickedness and greed under these two signs than any other pair of signs. So understand that money is a great motivator. And these people will do anything about it or for it. Okay? So understand that he's not going to be fickle or superficial if he doesn't stand to gain from it. Okay? He can be flirtatious and coy, but this also is motivated by a deeper need to understand how other people's true reactions will be. Sometimes he's just fucking with you, just to see how you'll react. Scorpio also plays this game, although Mr. Scorpio is much more crueler about it. So if you feel offended by Cancer's off-putting personality, know that he will eventually oscillate to a much warmer disposition. He's not gonna always stay stuck in one moody, crabby nature. He's always gonna oscillate from one extreme to the other. It's nothing personal. He just goes in and out of phases and moods, just like our moon does. Again, why it was important for me to explain that analogy between the moon and the moon phases and the psychological and emotional personality and behavior of Mr. Cancer. Because if you can understand that template, you will be able to better handle yourself. Because we cannot ever really change anybody, but we can control how we react to people, how we react to things. And listen, when you're with a Cancer man, it's all about you controlling how you react to him. Remember, it's a losing battle because he's not going to change. Does the moon change its phases? We always get a full moon and a new moon. We always get a quarter, second quarter, crescent, gibbous moon, balsamic moon. It's always been like that since the moon first stabilized in our orbit back in the Lemurian Hyperborean epoch. The moon hasn't changed its course since then in the hundreds of millions of years. And remember, the Earth is 4.5 billion years old, according to cosmologists. So I understand how old and predictable the moon has always been. So if you can apply that to the psychology of the Cancer man, you have a winning chance of understanding how to deal with this man and his complex moods, because they're not going to change. The only thing that's going to change is your attitude towards them and him in particular. Notice I'm not coughing as much. The bourbon, it really does it for you. Okay. He lives in a private emotional world of his. A world that he doesn't allow you in. Won't let you in. This is also true of Mr. Scorpio and Mr. Pisces. But then with Mr. Pisces, he really tells on himself so much, because when it comes to sex, he just loses himself like the ocean, like a drop in an ocean. We'll talk about Mr. Pisces, because I might need 2 shots of bourbon for that dude. But Cancer is he lives in a private emotional world. A world that he doesn't let you come in, doesn't allow you in. Okay? People confuse his behavior as someone who has multiple personalities, but in actuality, it's no different personalities as it is different lunar phases. Yeah, different lunar phases, okay, and moods. Just like the moon goes through its phases and it goes through its different tinctures, so does the moods of a person, particularly a Cancerian, can go through the same type of feelings in the course of a day. Absolutely. So then, what do you do? Well, there's nothing you can do but let the mood swings pass. Let the mood swings flow. Okay? His moods can be here today and gone tomorrow. So then what will be the point? Between these intervals of moods which he goes through, he is completely himself. He couldn't be more himself than when he's going through these different transitional phases. That's when you know that you're witnessing a person being in his own truth. This man is moody. This man is lunar. And if you can find a way to understand that, this can be a very beautiful experience to be with a Cancer man or a Cancer woman. You get to have right in front of you the different phases of the moon as it does occur in our night sky. And to know that there's a spiritual counterpart to it inside of a human soul allows you so much more closer to understand the mysteries of the moon than anyone else. It is truly a balancing, beautiful, and very mysterious gift to be able to be that perceptive. So understand that when Mr. Cancer go through his moods and cantankerous behaviors and even withdraws completely, understand that these are just different psychological mood swings, but they're not mood swings in the sense that they are negative. They're just phases of oscillations that occur from time to time that do tend to go from extreme to extreme. But that is natural because it's natural of our moon. So therefore, there has to be a spiritual and an emotional counterpart to that, with the human psyche and the human personality, as the moon governs all of us and all of our moods and feelings. Because when I do charts of different people and the moon is everywhere and anywhere, the way I can connect with someone emotionally is by watching where the moon is in the birth chart. So the moon is extremely important in trying to figure out another human being. No, but there is an archetype that embodies all of the moods and feelings that a human experience can embark in a single lifetime. And the champion holder of that is Cancer, cardinal water. So it is important that if we are to be happy with ourselves and happy with other human beings, we need to be able to understand our own feelings, our own emotion, and what our needs are, and to address them and fulfill them. Because it is part of the human experience. It is part of what we are supposed to be experiencing. And this is a principle that is carried by every Cancerian, male or female. Okay? He responds to his own moods independent of anyone else's awareness. Like he gets into his own moods and he gets himself out of his own moods. He don't need you to rescue him and get him out of his moods. He'll do that by himself. He actually will resent you butting in, because that is how he experienced being himself, is by being alive and experiencing the beauty of who he is in all of its complexity. And he needs a woman that will intimately understand that and be able to connect to his biorhythms. Okay, because then she'll be able to understand and anticipate and leave him alone and allow him to be. Powerful stuff. So understand that the Cancer man requires a lot of attention, a lot of third party, third person, third place attention, where you don't actually go in and figure out and ask him questions. No, you don't. That's not how you do it. You do it by allowing him to exist in all of his 4, 8, and 28 lunar phases. Because that is how he begins to understand and feel how he can impact other people around him. Okay? Because of this type of independent awareness that he seeks, where he doesn't want your inclusion, he gives off the impression that he is ignoring you. It's not that he's ignoring you, it's that he's in tune to his own vibration, his own feeling. In actuality, he's not ignoring you. He's feeling you out, and you will not utter a single word, and he will not utter a single word to rescue you or to let you know what you're experiencing. He just does it. No, it may make you uncomfortable around him. Try not to let it bother you though. Okay, because he's not going to care either way if you do. See, this is who he is. It is a state of being. In a single day, he will go through 28 different moods and at least 4 major phases. In a given day, each phase lending to a particular expression of his behavior, which he can unnerve you, but at the same time, he can delight you. Okay? So a man like that, let me tell you, is never boring. You can never be bored with a man like that. He can go through these phases and periods in 1 hour, 1 minute, or 1 day. Then the cycle repeats itself all over again. He is often accused of being a mean guy and a grumpy guy, but he truly is not. The issue is, in reality, that he is very tender and sensitive and often feels that he is exposed because of that. And because he feels exposed because of that, he doesn't like to feel exposed, and this is often the reason why he retreats into his shell. Okay? When he carries with him this psychological shell everywhere, there's a reason for that, because he doesn't want to be hurt. Okay, he'll retreat when he feels uncomfortable. Okay, if he ever becomes emotionally afraid, he'll become crabby and become quite mean. because this is how he operates. But don't play the hype because he does care and love you, and that ends the series.